Oi, give me a couple seconds here. Voyager family, Crystals, Zandy Papa, Larice is in the house. Mark is here. Crystal's Adventure, Lazy Larry Lee standing by for feed. Anna Mae, thank you for sharing it out. The beautiful Aileen Cruz official has checked in officially. Mawelma is here, checking in. It's Letty Me, you and me. It's you and me, baby. Minge is in the house. Or close by. I think she's PM'd me already this morning on Messenger. Oh, man. We are live. Dan and Minnie back in Bye Bye City Late. Got in, I would say we got in early evening time last night. We're here in Bye Bye City. It took me a few moments to set up the studio. It's only me. Dan's pushing the buttons, pulling the levers, trying to get everything all set up. Unloading equipment, plugging everything in, taping it up with blue tape. Oh, you should see the blue tape that we're using. I got blue tape everywhere, on the walls, on the ground, making sure that the connections don't come loose. Inomako Cafe, Mayong Buntag, to all my friends in the Philippines. And good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone else all over the world, but mostly located in the USA, with an occasional drop-in from Australia, England, and all parts, north, south, east, and west. This is Dan coming to you live from the Philippines. Grab your favorite libation. Inomoto Cafe, grab your donut, grab your Dunkin', grab your wife. Oh, let me see how to get out of here. Let me see. Oh, okay. Hey, folks, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a few moments to fool around with my sound bites that are on my other system here, and then we'll bring Larry, who's waiting in the green room. We'll bring him up. But let me just play a few because I've kind of forgotten what they are. Let's see what they are. Yay! That's applause. That's appropriate, I would say. Let me see what else we got going. Because I haven't played around with these sound bites in a long time. I have them on the other computer here. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Whatever that is, that isn't going to work. I kind of am afraid to even click on that one. Okay, I see. That's the only one. All right, these are the only two that are working. Okay, I have music and the applause soundbite. Okay, this is Dan. Just want to let you know I got your 100 pesos waiting for you, and somebody this month is going to win this. But This is an American $100 bill. Honestly, I don't know how this contest is going to work. I think I'm going to do it the simplest and easiest way, but I will announce the mechanics on Saturday's live stream. So I think it's going to be very simple. You know how I am. I think we're just going to do a simple Wheel of Fortune, but I'm going to task one of you, most likely it'll be Bacal Mertz, with setting up the Wheel of Fortune. And then we may even do a simulcast where she spins the wheel, and then wherever it lands, wherever it goes, is going to be the lucky winner, because I like to keep it simple, and you know the reason why. All right, let's we have a lot of things to talk about. Before we bring up Larry, I just want to say a couple of things, right? Number one, this live stream is for entertainment purposes only. Any factoids that you may utilize in your own life is purely coincidental. I shall not be responsible for anything that occurs to you unless it has a positive outcome. But if it ends up in death because you tried something that I suggested, I cannot be responsible for that. So don't listen or employ or deploy anything that Dan has to say. All right, I'm going to take my glasses off today because of the reflection. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to set it over here, and we're ready to rock and roll. Let's bring up Larry Lee from the Green Room.
Hey Dan, how you doing?
Larry, I'm trying to hide the bags, the bags in my eye, and then I'm trying to disguise that one lazy eye that I got after having that glaucoma operation that didn't take. So, anyway, go ahead. Good morning. Where are you at?
Good afternoon. Well, I'm at a friend's house again. Same place, but I'm downstairs.
Okay, turn up your volume, or go ahead and speak more directly into the mic, because you're very, very low on volume.
Okay.
Wake them up.
How's that? Is that better?
No, ain't better. Uh-oh, are we headed for one of those lives? Just get closer to the mic and it should be fine.
All right, that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting on a couch at a friend's house. I'm on the first floor.
Does it give you volume control on StreamYard? I'm just curious. Maybe there's a volume control button. I don't know.
I'm looking for one. I tried my computer, but it seems to be at 100%, so that's not it.
Thank you, 10 of you that are here in the chat. 10 million viewers are in the chat.
But no, last week I was upstairs in the
loud. Speak loudly. You could speak loudly. Yell.
How's this? Is this better?
Yeah, well, raise your voice is the way I guess you raise the volume. Manilau, Liz is here in the house.
Okay. Like I said, I'm at a friend's house. Same friend I was at last week. But I was up in the bedroom, and she said that's the worst place for the.
What are you doing in her bedroom, Larry?
Well, it was a quiet place. You know, like I said, they were down in New York City, and I'm watching the mother. And so this week, I'm just down here in the living room, and I'm going to hopefully I get a better reception. It doesn't cut in and out like last week.
Thanks for joining us, Tim. Tim says he's not going to be here long. Daisy Lynn Castro's here.
Yep.
The incomparable Daisy Lynn Castro. Larissa is in the house, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and socialite, and an all-around nice person. Naomi from Cebu is in the house. Good day, Naomi. Thanks for coming. Oh, go ahead. Continue with what you were talking about.
Well, like I said,
talk into your phone. Hold your phone up to your face. Do something.
I don't think I got the volume off on the phone, so I don't think it's going to work. I'm trying to talk more into the computer, but
Maybe you need to go to the phone. Maybe you need to switch over to your phone. We don't mind. We don't mind if you're on phone cam.
well, let's go to a different phone.
Dodger blue. Well, the Kings lost against the Warriors. What are you going to do? You know what it makes me think, Dodger blue, when things like that happen, it makes me think that they deliberately go to Game 7 so they can make as much money as they possibly can. What do you think of that? You think the whole thing, the fix is in on those playoff games? What do you think of that? You think the whole thing, the fix is in on those playoff games? Yeah, we're getting the feedback now from one of the other phones. All right. I just wanted to go over real quick what I'm going to be talking about today because I'm going to be all over the place, but I wrote down notes, so I wouldn't forget this time. So we talked about last week, we talked about the exploding Filipino consumer oriented economy. And so it is consumer driven. There's no other place like it other than the United States. And of course, India, I'm not sure how it works, but I want to talk a little bit about this. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, here I am. Is this better?
The sound improved a little bit better, but not a whole bunch. But anyway, I was just going to talk about how culturally, people display wealth. I started thinking about this because you just can't look towards the United States and criticize them because they want to display their wealth in the size of their house. The United States having the biggest homes on the planet, keeping up with the Joneses and the Contrerases and things like that. So the United States displays its wealth. This is something I wanted to cover in last week's live stream. They display it by the size of the house that they live in. But in India, where the economy is exploding, and with their predictions this year that they will not sink into a recession, they won't have to deal with it because of their economy. They display it, and other countries do it the same way by their ownership and display of gold. China does the same thing. I mean, and so you can, if you want to make a comparison, you could look towards the United States and say, okay, that person has money because they live in a big house. You could assume that. You can make that assumption. It probably wouldn't be true, right? But then you can turn around and you could, if you wanted to critique India or China or Thailand, you could say, oh, that person is wealthy because they're wearing a lot of gold jewelry. You see a lot of 18 karat gold. And so, I mean, if you could, out of those two cultures, right, it's probably the Asian culture that is actually wealthy because they pay cash when they buy gold. And in the United States, the house is most oftentimes it's supported. They have to support and service debt through a mortgage. Well, in the Philippines, they don't have any such thing as mortgages are starting to appear. And of course, credit cards and store credit and all that other stuff, is coming in. It's rearing its ugly head because they have a consumer-oriented economy. It's going to look very, very much, right? Very, very much like the United States, and it's going to happen. Dan has looked in his crystal ball, and we've got about 2 or 3 years to go. So Tim is saying, Dan, it's well known that playoff games go to 7 games to ensure they get most money from the playoffs. That seems to be the case in the Sacramento Kings. I mean, the guy that owns them, he's not poor by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, but it's all about the money, and so it makes me disheartened. Why should I even spend any time at all watching these games if I know that the fix is in, all because they're chasing around, just like everybody else, the almighty dollar. Okay.
Oh,
yeah, it's horrible. So I think I saw Seth stepped in. So Sess, I'm glad she's here because I wanted to, because Sess and a lot of people here in the chat, they do a really, really good job integrating the use of other social platforms like Facebook in Sess's case, prompting people to go to the YouTube channel. And I have seen many, many videos that show that this doesn't work. That Facebook is Facebook, Twitch is Twitch, Instagram's Instagram, and YouTube is YouTube. But you go in and you look to see how they're using their channels in order to promote their videos, and now it's starting to change my mind. And so says she's one of the ones that takes advantage of using the other platforms in order to lead people into her YouTube channel. And I'm not sure it works the other way around, but I just wanted to say that by looking in other people's channels to see how they're integrating the two platforms, or even Twitch, starting to change my mind a little bit. I'm not a fan of Twitch, and I'm not a fan of Facebook, as most of you know. I've talked about it, but my mind can be changed. I'm keeping an open mind about it. One reason why I am is because I get these prompts in the email. They come to my email address. And most of you know, if you want to contact me, a few of you have, all you have to do is go into my description of my videos, and you'll see that I post one of my email addresses there. And then you could always send me a message of hate if you choose to. No, most of them are positive. But I'll tell you, the ones that I've been getting lately are from YouTube hammering me about monetizing the channel again. And they give me this profile, right? Dan, if you were to become a YouTube partner, AdSense or whatever it is, here's how much money you can make. And so this is accelerating as we move forward. And I think one of the reasons is because I employed a very, very simple strategic formula. And that was that try and get 1,000 to 1,500 hits per week. And I've met that goal through all the different using the shorts, using live stream, and posting videos. And so I achieved that a few weeks ago. And apparently, the way that YouTube's algorithm works is that, okay, if they spy you and they see that you can make at least the minimum paycheck, which is the $100 per month, once you're monetized, then they start hammering you, sending these little prompts saying you need to update your AdSense so we can start running ads on your channel and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, that's what started me thinking about the way that Sess and others here have successfully integrated their YouTube and their Facebook channel. I'm only one person. Sess, you do a very, very good job. I don't know how many hours a day you spend on putting this together, but I have a feeling that I just simply don't have the hours in the day in order to make this thing work. So I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna have to start thinking about, if I want to go that direction, and I want to integrate YouTube and promote my YouTube videos through these other social media venues or applications, then I'm going to have to really, really go to work. I started looking at Facebook, the number one country that uses Facebook, and I think it's India. United States, they're over there. I mean, they have a huge user population. I was led to believe that they don't use Facebook so much in the USA, but they do. And of course, the Philippines, obviously, everybody walks around and they access it mostly from their cell phones. They're very, very interesting stats that are advantageous if you go online, you start looking around and asking questions through AI or Google or other or Microsoft. You go and you start looking at their platforms, then you can start seeing what's going on. And that's really, that combined with the success of YouTubers integrating different platforms is starting to make me believe that I should be left behind if I don't take advantage. Okay, so now we get back to Bye Bye Leyte. This is the other thing I want to talk about, Larry. We get back to Bye Bye City Leyte, and it's pouring rain here. Now, if you want to live on the island of Leyte, it gets 6 times more rain than any other island, and so we're in the storm belt. And so here's the thing that's good and bad, right? What's good about it is you can plant a garden here, and I've been talking a lot about this, and your garden will grow. Your garden will grow. See, because you have the right combination of hot weather and rainy weather in order to make certain vegetables and fruits grow. And so this is the thing. This is one of the reasons why I like living in Bye Bye City Leyte. A reason why I hate it is the rain. But listen, I'd like to think that we have found the solution to that, where we could live, halftime in Cebu and halftime in Bye Bye City Leyte. And so we squared away our rent and everything before coming over and catching the fast ferry over. I wanted to take the Ocean Jet, but we ended up taking the Super Cat for 2 reasons. One, it was leaving an hour earlier than the Ocean Jet. And number 2, they gave me a discount. They gave me the senior discount on the fare, where the Ocean Jet didn't want to do it. So I shopped it. They said, no discount for you because we want you to have a residential ID card. And I go, a passport is my residential ID card, along with my letter from the barangay captain certified that shows that I live in the Philippines and that I am known to the barangay captain. Well, Ocean Jet didn't want to do it. And Super Cat did it with just my passport. They said, oh yeah, you're senior enough for us. And so they gave me a 300, count them for all you jealous people out there, a 300 peso discount on the rate over. I bring this up for a couple different reasons, right? There's nothing wrong with helping yourself through a 300 peso discount, because then I could come here and it gives me 300 pesos to give away over the next 3 live streams, right? That's very, very exciting. Oh, what's this? What did you have to say, Crystals? Something about seats, not being able to sit in more than one seat at the same time. I didn't get it. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't looking at the chat. I do apologize. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's something about a seat. Yeah, I got told this one time by somebody, but it had to do with a relationship. I got caught dating 2 women that work in the same office at the same time. And when they discovered it, they chuckled. But of course, they both bailed on me at the same time. They said, no, Dan's trying to sit in 2 different chairs at the same time. He can either be sitting on my lap or he could be sitting on your lap, but he cannot be sitting on both of our laps. So none of us, I don't think either one was taking this seriously, as a serious relationship, because neither one of them became angry at me. They just said, okay, Dan, well, that was fun. See you later, The relationships are not turning, obviously, into anything long-term.
No, not if you're dating 2.
Not if you're dating 2 and you're trying to date and you're dating them they work in the same office right next to each other.
I was dating 2 women, and one of them started. They worked in different bars, but the one girl changed jobs, and they both worked in the same bar.
Yeah.
So that was a
So Naomi is chiming in. What's going to suffer is your time. Your time is going to suffer. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if you spend, you may be able to pull it off where you could spend equal amounts of time on 2 platforms. I don't know how you could divide that over 5 or 6. For example, Rebeauty, she likes to do her live streams for members only on Twitch. I don't know anything about Twitch. I'm not even interested in learning anything about Twitch. And so it makes me feel kind of funny. I go, okay, do I bail on her because, I can't participate in Twitch because I don't want to? I don't know. But I remain a channel member in Rebeauty's channel. And so it's just, I mean, I'm retired, I'm retired and inspired, but I'm not that inspired. That's the whole thing. So, all right, I'm falling behind. I know everybody's got an opinion on this, but let's see. I usually did post link in Facebook and pictures, short videos as well. For YouTube, it's a complete video premiere. I gotcha. But how many hours are you spending a day working your platforms? And do you view it as being a full-time job? In other words, I gotta borrow Larry's line, right? And that is that, what's the line, Larry?
Which line you going to borrow for mine?
I can't lie to you about this. Is how I just have to lay it out there in the spirit of transparency, and that is that it's starting to feel like a full-time job to me, just working a YouTube channel, but I am really hell of enjoying it. I mean, I'm retired but inspired. I'm inspired by YouTube. So I started thinking to myself, okay, if I start watching Seth or Pacquiao Merch or somebody else that seems to be successful at this, then I most likely will just copy you. But how much time are we talking about? What investment in time are we talking about? Is it taking up your entire life working these channels? That's the thing that I'm curious about.
Well, it won't take my entire life because I got to work 40 hours a week.
Yeah, you already have a life, Larry.
Yeah.
You already have a life. It's only going to go up to 112 again in Manila or in Pampanga. So that's good. That's good, Tim. So anyway, I was about ready to tell you, Tim. So we settled the bill. Everything, lock, stock, and barrel, the whole shebang for maintaining the apartment in not our daily stuff, because I could be a little bit spendy on a daily basis. Just ask Ma'am Minnie. Yeah. So you know how guys criticize their women sometimes because they say, "Hey, you out shopping and you made an unauthorized purchase." Well, that's Minnie telling me that I made an unauthorized purchase. That's not the other way around, right? Oh, so you want the fancy coffee, latte da. So why do you go to Starbucks or Bose and buy these fancy coffees, Mr. Dan? Well, part of the thing is it's to be seen, and admired. No, I'm just kidding about that. It's hard. It's difficult finding good coffee here in the Philippines. It really is.
Get brewed coffee.
Dodger Blue, from your sweat and blood, these things come from that sweet success. Sweet success is a result of your hard work. I truly believe that. Letty Me, how do you be? I think she's responding from way back, way back when she said hello to you. How are you? And Dan has fallen further behind in the chat. Seth's travel vlogs is where you should be, because if you go into Seth's travel vlogs, you're going to be inspired. So this is perfect for a guy like me who's retired and inspired. So that's why you got to go there. But I don't spend enough time there because I'm doing my own thing right now. And Seth understands that, I'm sure. So I just want to make a point about the Cebu thing. Everything is working out just fine. There have been no undulations, roadblocks, or humps or bumps in the roadway whatsoever. They have been so, Irma over there at MIT Residences has been so sweet. As you know, Monday was a holiday. It was Labor Day. And we danced around the maypole and did different fertility things. But anyway, no, listen, don't listen to Dan make fun of May 1st, and when we were kids, them forcing us to dance around the maypole, which is witchcraft or something. I don't know what it is. But anyway, that's to make sure you you pregnate and impregnate somebody. But anyway, for setting that aside, the worshiping of the pole, setting all that aside, Labor Day, go find out what the history of that is, and then you'll be surprised. But it's a holiday here in the Philippines. I respect all the holidays. They even have a holiday in the United States, right? So commemorating folks' labor and hard work. But anyway, everything worked out fine. We went there, and Irma had the pro forma bill ready, and then the electric bill. Even though we were running the air conditioning 24/7 the entire time we were there, it turned out to be right around 2,000 pesos, which seems like a lot of dough, unless you're living here in Baybay City, where I'm running all the air conditioning 24/7. I end up with a bill that is like 15,000 pesos a month in one case. So I was very pleased at the 2,000 a month. Dan, if you sit in 2 chairs, you will need to pay for 2 chairs. Exactly why you shouldn't be doing it. Marriage keeps me out of the chairs. Let's put it that way, Tim. It keeps me out of sitting in a chair that I shouldn't be sitting in. ABCM is here. Oh, ABCM, thank you so much for coming to the live. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
All right, what else I want to talk about then? Larry, since you're on low voice, then I'm taking control of the
Go
chat.
right ahead.
Seth says, not a full-time job. It depends on my mode. If I feel like editing a video, easy for me to post pictures on Facebook. I did spend a bit of editing on the pictures because, suspense. Being noticed. That's right. I'm always getting complimented on my stash and my, exactly. This right here, Nadis. Right. I'm always being complimented. Women approach me in the mall. Does it irritate many? Once in a while it does, but most of the time she takes it all in stride, She says, oh, here comes another one, They come up to me, start talking, Usually it's a sweet young thing under 30 that I'm approached by. And I usually send them home to daddy. Go have a talk with your father. No, I'm not saying it's daddy issues that's responsible for that. No, although we should have a live stream, or I should at least do a video on daddy issues. Says, I don't want to post an interesting picture, or shall I say no story on it. Some people just post pictures like, oh yeah, you know what? That's a very, very good point. So I have noticed that you've done that. So Seth is always telling a story, and she integrates that with a story that she's telling on YouTube. And so she is sharing a very valuable social media clue for all those that want to expand their channels. She's sharing a very important part of the puzzle. Yeah, Larry's goatee, very handsome. Exactly. Very, very handsome. Exactly. I can understand why other vloggers hire somebody to edit their videos because it's very complicated. My videos is based on my capability and laziness. Well, see, although you can't tell most of the time, Seth, you can't tell that you're being lazy. But I notice that, speaking of that, I notice what I do, right? You can clearly see the laziness in the video, but I don't make a secret out of it. As a matter of fact, I let everybody know. Like look at the one where we went looking around at the 8,000 peso apartment that doesn't exist. I was clearly making fun of I was clearly in that video making fun of the whole experience. And so I actually had fun doing it, but it didn't take me very long putting it together because I don't like editing videos myself. And so I'll try and just, what the heck? I'm just posting videos that have everything to do about nothing. So there you go.
I think I've edited 2 videos.
Yeah. You don't edit much, do you, Larry? Let's go out and see a picture of the park let's go out and see what the park looks like near my home. And you walk over there, you show them the park, and that's pretty much the video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're doing just fine. So why not? Helen is here. Helen, thank you so much for being here and hanging around. Yeah, go over to Seth's channel if you haven't signed up. Sign up. By the way, I'm almost sure that everyone in this chat is signed up on my channel. But if you're not, go over there, hit the subscribe button, and help me out a little bit. There you are. There you are, Seth. Okay, so now we know the secret to Seth's success. And you're getting a paycheck on YouTube, right? And you're starting to get paid on Facebook, are you not, Seth? Is it? You have to have multiple streams. You have to have multiple streams going of income. But I got to tell you something, right? I got to tell you where I think the social media platforms are headed. And so I'm giving you one of the objectives here for this live stream is to make a few predictions. Okay. By the way, here's something that isn't predictable, and that is that the exchange rate as of airtime was 55.44 pesos to the dollar. So now it's starting to settle in a little bit. And if the Fed lowers interest rates, then you're going to start to see the peso become stronger against the dollar. So one of the predictions is that this is going to happen, and the peso rate may settle in where it was prior to the big jump at the beginning of last month. And that is, it'll probably settle in at its average, which is about 53 point something is where I think it's going to end up. Should the Fed decide to lower interest rates, but if they decide to increase, which is an old trick for using inflated dollars to pay for debt, for cheap debt, then what's going to end up happening is it's going to skyrocket and may end up hitting 60 for the first time in history. And I say, let's wait this play out. Let's let this play out, or watch it to play out through October. And so I'm saying, look through October for the fun. Nitban had pointed out in one of the one of the private messages he sent me that the United States has a 65% chance of probability of heading into a recession. If that happens, then they're going to have to lower interest rates. They're going to have to lower interest rates in order to combat inflation. And so we'll have to see. Right now, the housing market is taking a beating. Folks, the housing market is taking a beating, and I realize that's going to have an effect also on the peso value. That's one of the reasons why I talk about it. So, connect the dots. Yes, on the spot videos, right? Yeah, I guess they call them on the spot videos. So I'll be doing more of that sort of thing. I'll be doing more of that. And you've seen in my shorts that once in a while I hit a home run. These are my own creative ideas, by the way, folks. I actually go in there and I look to see what Larice is doing on her shorts, and then I try and convert it over into using a different idea, or in order to get the same hit. And you've seen that I've been successful on a couple of occasions. You've seen that, like, for example, the bubblegum machine video was inspired by one of Larice's videos, one of her shorts. But I try to change it up a little bit, to get the same effect. By the way, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but YouTube suppressed one of my shorts. If you guys go in and you take a look at Jollibee, right? Once it hit, it was going like skyrocket, right? It was like a rocket ship. And all of a sudden, YouTube shut it down when it hit 1.3K. Are you telling me that thing was not capable of getting 3 and 4K views? It most certainly was. YouTube shut it down when it hit 1.3K. And I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you why, right? Why? Because they know that I was making fun of McDonald's in that video and Jollibee at the same time. They know what I was thinking. How do they know what I was thinking? Because if you go in there and you rewatch that video, people have told me they've gone in 100 times and they've rewatched the videos. Well, why isn't that reflected in the views? It's because YouTube shut it down. YouTube suppressed it. And that's because they weren't sure who I was making fun of in that video. So I'm going to tell you right now, right? Both of them, McDonald's and Jollibee, I was making fun of in that video. So there, YouTube, you were right. So now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to do? Now that you know the truth and I was making fun of both Jollibee and McDonald's by posting that video, what are you going to do? Are you gonna take me down? What are you gonna do, YouTube? Are you gonna ban me? Are you gonna ban me? So that clown in the eye of the Jollibee was supposed to be me taking a hit on both of them. YouTube apparently wasn't sure. That's what they were thinking, and so they were right. I was making fun of them. Sometimes there's music and can be copyright or something that is not good to be posted. But I grabbed it from the YouTube music. I grabbed it. It was actually Busy Bee is actually listed. If you go look on it, it's listed as an authorized music. It's authorized to use. They're the ones that posted it. They're the ones paying for it. Okay, so you're still working on watch hours. You guys, go and help Sess out. Go help Sess out. Go in there and so she can get the watch hours. I think their watch hours are like, they want you to have a lot of watch hours, right, Sess? So she's working on that part. Okay. Dodger Blue has something to say. Interest rates are going up 0.25 tomorrow. I think any rate cuts. Let's see, I don't think any rate cuts until the middle of next year. Okay, so if it goes 0.25, then what's going to end up happening is you're going to see the peso, the Philippine peso will weaken against the dollar. The only thing holding up the dollar right now are those interest rates. And there's a currency war going on, as most of you know. There's a currency war going on globally. And so you know what that's all about. It has to do with the Ukraine war. The United States weaponized this dollar, and so everybody's, they're trying to make it more difficult for the U.S. Dollar to be utilized as the reserve currency and to be used as a settlement currency. But listen, they have an uphill battle. In my humble opinion, it's worth nothing. It's not going to happen. It just isn't going to happen. But the wars can take place. I've talked about, it won't happen immediately. It could happen over a long, long period of time, but we're talking about 10 or 20 years. We're not talking about tomorrow. So all this fear mongering that's going on YouTube and other venues in the press, this is amusing to me because we know that the fall of the Roman Empire did not happen overnight, and nor shall the destruction of the dollar, because there is not enough other money circulating. In other words, even if you took all the currencies in the world and you put them all together, it probably wouldn't even result in half the value of the amount of dollars that are in circulation. In order for it to get going, to really have an impact, you would have to have all these currencies circulating. And there's just no way it's going to happen because you have unstable governments around the world. And the more unstable they are, the stronger the dollar is, because we have a stable dollar. We have a stable government. It's in God we trust, right? It's right here. It's right here on this $100 bill. It's right here. In God we trust. It's right here. By the way, somebody's going to win this by the end of May.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Larry said he'll take it. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. I think that they would start throwing peso coins at me if you ended up winning the money. Oh, by the way, I wanted to share something with you guys. You can get this piggy, right? This piggy right here at Toys R Us for 100 pesos. You guys hear that? So you're thinking, I know it's easy for Dan to say to spew crap, right? No, Dan practices what he preaches. This is the proof. This is not going to become lechon. Well, it might, because it may become lechon. I'll tell you why. Because we have to crack this bad boy open. When we're ready to use this for what we have planned, we'll have to bust this open because there's no opening at the bottom. You see, you can only put money in, but you can't take it out. So this is a good thing, right? So crystals, have you started the Dan saving program? Because if you haven't, if you need 100 pesos so you can buy that pig crystals, I might be so inspired, but hopefully you can take a coconut shell and you can make a bank out of it. That's what I'm trying to get you going. That savings is part of this deal. Savings is how you is one of the ways that you become wealthy. YouTube and Facebook is another way that you can become very, very rich. I know we all want to become YouTube superstars. How many of them make it? You know that only a very, very small percentage of people actually are able to turn even $1 in YouTube income. And half the people in the chat today, they get a regular paycheck every single month. You guys are miracle workers. You guys are amazing. You're simply amazing, because in this chat, you have people that are getting a monthly paycheck from YouTube, and the majority of people around the world, don't even, they no matter how hard they work, they can't get it because they can't get enough views in order to get that first paycheck. So am I among the winner? Am I among the people that have earned a paycheck in YouTube? Yes, but I didn't take distribution of the money, and you guys know why. Now, just because somebody comes out on YouTube and says, oh, if you make money on YouTube, you don't have to pay taxes on it in the Philippines. But here's the whole thing. Dan is not anti-tax. I just want to make it clear. I welcome the opportunity to pay tax in the Philippines and the United States. I offer up to pay my fair share because it's what keeps the machine going. It's what keeps the machine oiled. So why would I be anti-tax? I'm nowhere near being anti-tax. So whoever it was that sent me that message saying, oh, it's because you're withholding the tax. No, I'm not withholding the tax. I'm protecting my immigration status at the moment until I figure everything out. And everything is in play. Everything is in play. I'll know sooner rather than later if my immigration status would be harmed by me getting paid for doing YouTube videos. By the way, I know for a fact that in Thailand, it is not. In Thailand, there's specific tax code that addresses YouTubers. And so they're very clear because this has come up before, and there's actually tax code. And so no, your immigration status is not at risk if you're in Thailand. And in the Philippines, it just happens to be a gray area. Oh my goodness, what was it for? Can I actually fall into that? Can I actually get in trouble for something I say or do? How do I know that don't they usually, they'll usually tell you, right? Before they no, I guess not. I guess you would have to privatize. I privatize every video so that I get the warning in advance. So I make sure that anything that gets caught at either in the background or the foreground gets deleted. And that happened recently, Seth. They warned me. They said, if this one goes public, then this is the problem you're going to have with it. And so I deleted 20 seconds of the video in order to make sure that I wasn't pending for copyright issues. Copyright strike is pretty serious. You know, I think you can have something like 3 strikes and you're out. You know? So that's pretty serious. Would you put your trust or your money in China with their history? No. Quite frankly, China doesn't even do it because they're talking about creating a central digital currency. They're not talking about, oh, you can get paper money and take it out of the country. Hell no, because if they did that, people would be buying condominiums in San Francisco. I apologize if I offended anybody by saying that. So, okay, here's the whole thing. Seth, everybody, they're spreading fear because fear is a human nature that it's going to lure you to your site. Larry, if you want your YouTube channel to really grow and grow fast, all you got to do is talk about something that has a fear factor connected to it, right? Your YouTube channel. Yeah, it'll just go like this, you know. Like for example, if you got on one day and you said, "I saw an unidentified flying object flying over the top of Times Square, and I think it could have been a nuclear missile," right? And then you do for your thumbnail, "nuclear missile strike, nuclear missile attempt," and you put question mark, right? You'll get a bazillion views. Also, any reaction video, right? Any reaction video, you know, is going to get a hit as opposed to a miss every single time.
So I can do one on my thoughts on the Passport Bros or Joe's.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that is going to get an audience. It's going to find an audience. Oh, Nitban is here. Nitban. I have a question for you. Oh, Seth is asking about the piggy. Dan, do you have all 20 peso coins in there? You're making me laugh so badly. It's one, Seth, you know, I've talked about this on my live stream before. It's 1 peso at a time. It's 1 peso at a time. That piggy will probably pay for Sikihor. I'll have to fill it all the way up. And you're right. We're going to have to put some 20 peso coins in there, right? We're gonna have to put some money in there in order to make this happen. Yeah, it could also be my Christmas fund. Yeah, for Christmas, that's for sure. Oh, Nitban, I have a question for you. Okay. So Nitban, I'm gonna reveal something. My phone number, Nitban, is already cloned to Google. So I'll tell you what, my one of my phones finally took a crap. So I'm only working with one phone right now. All right. So what I need is a dual SIM Google phone. Can you find me one? If you can find me one and purchase it, I'll send you the money, you purchase it, and then we'll figure out how to get it to me. My phone number has already been cloned by Google. So I use Google Voice Service. So anybody that wants to talk to me, all they have to do is call my old phone number from my 916 area code, and they convert it. Google Voice converts that to a Hotmail, and then I can see everything that's going on. And if you leave a voice message, it will also leave the voice message. It'll send it to my Hotmail address. Oh, I did use it to pay the load. Well, here's the thing, Seth, we're talking about saving money, right? We're not talking about spending it. You know, if you were desperate for load, you know, then yeah, you got to use it for what you got to use it to, especially, you know, if you're within striking distance of getting paid for your YouTube videos and you need that load to do something, you know, you got to do it. But we're talking about becoming a billionaire by 1 peso at a time is basically what we're talking about. So anybody have ideas about how I can get a Google phone? Yeah, a used Google phone would even be better if you can. I don't have a piggy bank, but my kids have a bamboo bank, Sir Dan. Each of them. Yeah, make it out of bamboo. That's right. A lot of people have bamboo banks. And so they just hollow out the bamboo, right? And they start putting their coins in there. So it's very important. So Dan, I've not made 1 penny on YouTube, right? And most people won't, Larry, but I have confidence. I have faith that you will. So it's that Burl Lives persona that you have going on there. I don't receive a monthly paycheck once every 5 months or sometimes in a year. Hard to reach 100 in a month. How much only they paid for 1K views? Yeah, that's right. But I was talking to Seth about my strategy, and I think I hit the sweet spot on the strategy. You know, and that is that you post enough shorts, live streams, and videos in order to hit at least 1K per week. That's the goal. And by the way, if you go back and you look, you could see where I started that experiment, and you can see that that I've reached that goal. And it was not that difficult to reach the goal. All you need is 200, 300 views per video, and you have to post a few of them. And if you have a nice network of friends like we have going on here, you know, that put it out there, then they will run it up for you. And so that's why I'm so appreciative of all 12 million people that are in the chat right now, because each one of these people, they work hard at sharing the videos and putting it out there so that people know that it exists, and they go in there and they take a look-see. My numbers are going crazy right now, Seth. I've got to be honest with you. I hit 18K views. I hit 18K views in a 28-day period, which shocked me. Almost 19K. I went, I almost had a moment, Seth. I almost had a moment. And my watch hours went up above 500. Am I proud? Am I happy? Yes. At first, you know, I'm like everybody else. Oh, I was just doing this for fun. And now, now it's a business. Now I've looked at this and I go, oh, wait a minute. I see how everybody are making $4,000 and $5,000 American dollars every month. I want some of that. If
I could make $4,000 a month, I'd quit working.
That's what I'm saying. But you know, I got my retirement fund going, so I'm not giving back any money. Oh, by the way, I give back to the community. Everyone here knows this. I do it as often as possible, folks. See this shirt? So everyone knows. So I was at Gate 3. I was at Gate 3 at Cebu Pier 1, right? We're getting ready to get on the fast ferry. And the gal approaches me, sweetest woman, sweetest young lady. Mammy and I were sitting there eating Spanish peanuts. And so we were sitting there, and yeah, well, Nitban's right about that. I hate to switch, but I just saw his comment. Dan was a government employee. He can't be anti-tax by definition. Absolutely right. I made sure that I did everything for a living that was consistent with my beliefs. And Larry knows this. It was giving away money. So why should I change? Why should I change in my retirement? My pattern of behavior. Right. So anyway, where was I? Oh, a sweet young lady came up to me from the vendor's booth that were selling these shirts. And then she said to me, I haven't had a sale all day, and I work on commission, sir. Is there a way you can come over and take a look at these fine shirts that I'm selling? And I went, well, sure, why not? I went over there and I took a look, and I happened to like a couple of the shirts. And then Minnie comes over, and she picks out a couple. So I bought a couple. Minnie bought a couple. She got this great big smile on her face. You know, and then she says, after I pay her, of course, she says, it works every time. She goes, it works every time. By the way, I got to share another coinkydink with you. It's an almost coinkydink that happened. Guess who was behind me by only 3 hours on the trip from Cebu to Bye Bye Leyte. I often says that there are no coincidences in life. Things happen for a reason. Who is behind me on the Super Cat? Right behind me, the same route, same gate, on his way, him and his wife from Cebu to Bye Bye. Who was it? Larry, how many guesses?
If you're going Bye Bye, I'll go with the bee hunter from Indiana.
No, well, he's here already, but somebody
Oh, yeah, but he may have been going back home.
Yeah, Mike, hey, Joe, him and his wife, we missed each other just by about 3 hours. He was on the Super Cat ferry, the 331, the 330 Super Cat. The reason why is because the airport, you know, he probably was trying to get out of the airport at Mactan, and so they ended up on the 330 to Bye Bye, as opposed to the 12 noon one that Minnie and I ended up on. And so we were kind of conversing through the email back and forth as he was making his way to the gate to catch the Super Cat to Bye Bye. So I don't know. We're gonna be at the Dunkin' this morning. So right after this live stream, we're headed over to the Dunkin'. So he said to me that he'd been awake for 30 hours straight from his trip from the Bay Area. I believe he's in the Bay Area also. So.
You sure he's going to be awake?
30 hours.
They said, are you sure he's going to be awake?
Yeah, he probably won't be awake. He's probably going to be sleeping. 20 pesos, please. Oh, let's see. Peter Barberia, fear porn makes money. Ask the church. Oh, no. Peter, you're killing me. But he speaks the truth. I'm telling you, I believe that. Listen, I only share my opinion. I know sometimes it scares people away. There's some things that Philippines won't have to deal with, you know, like, for example, yes, consumer society is going to overtake your entire lives. It's going to overtake you and control you. But housing is not going to be one way that they do it. Not at this point in time. They're not coming out to you. They're going to come out to you and try and sell you mortgages, but they're not going to go chase around people that are they're chasing around people that are in the middle or high income bracket. Last year, I did have a doggy bank, 5, 10, and 20 coins. Total is 5,900 pesos. When we opened it last December, siblings trying to guess, and if they are right, they can have a prize worth 500 pesos. That's very good. I like that. I like that idea a lot. That's very fun. Good for you, Sess. It's been very nice to talk to Sir Dan, because you will learn a lot of things, even though we will experience nosebleed. Yes. You know what? She's right. Pacquiao Mertz, she experienced this. She said that I was talking so fast and trying to share so many ideas with her. And I guess this happened to Naomi also. You'll get a nosebleed trying to convert it in your brain. Yeah. There are so many dual SIM phones available in the Philippines. Not a popular idea in the U.S. Yes, I realize it. But where do I get a Google phone from? I have to have a Google phone. I need the Google phone for the camera, and also because Google phone already owns my U.S. phone number. And so you can understand where I'm going with this, Nipan. It's so easy, because then I just call Google and say, hey, guess what I got? I got the Google phone. I got the Google phone number, and now all you have to do is activate everything for me, and they'll do that. Then I get to use it as a world phone. I get to use that as a global phone. That's the beautiful thing. And the result, 3 got 500. Geez, they are good guessers. 3 of them. It cost you 1,500 pesos. 1,500 pesos because you had 3 that guessed the correct amount. That is a fun idea. You know, that's something that we could do right here online. We can put together a contest. Oh, you're giving me ideas, Sess. You're giving me great ideas for getting people to participate. Yeah, that's simple mechanics. Guess how much money's in the piggy bank. And, and it would be random because you could put like peso coins in there. You could put, like you said, 5 peso coin, 20 peso coin. You could put whatever you want in there. All right. So I have notes, guys. Larry, I'm sorry that you're muted the way that you are.
So
we
am
can
I.
barely hear you. Barely. Personally, my Google Fi is an eSIM. That leaves me with an option to use another local SIM, but I've never needed to use it as Google Fi covers me internationally. That's why I want a Google phone, my friend. You're the one that pointed it out to me, by the way. So Nitban, look around for a Google phone, or if you want to upgrade, how much do you want for your phone? Because like I said, I already got the phone number. Google already owns the phone number. They cloned it, or whatever you call it. So we've got, who do we have in the chat here? We got Shizuki Lee, Zendi Papa's here. Thank you. Nitban showed up. Abby's in the house. Let's see. I've been using a Google Pixel 6 Pro for a year. I've never used an iPhone by principle. Same here. You and I are like that. No wonder we get along so well. And I won't switch phones unless it's broken. Mine broke. I had my the one that the folks that are no longer going to be making phones, they went out of business. I would have to spend $40 on a battery, and I know it sounds weird, right? But I'd rather spend $1,000 on a phone than $40 on a battery. So there's where I'm at. So now everybody knows how Dan is. I'd rather buy the expensive pair of shoes than the cheap ones because I know they'll last longer. So lessons learned. You don't need a Google phone, but I will highly encourage you to get a Pixel phone. You will need a phone with an Android operating system. Well, and a good camera. That's the other problem. So I went in there and I got recommendations from Google. Basically, obviously, they're going to say Google phone, but they also said Samsung S10, which they want gold. They want too much money for them here in the Philippines for the S10. Look around for an S10 for me. How about that? Speak again, Larry. I heard you loud and clear. Speak again.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you. That's the main problem. I can't hear you. So, next time. We'll get you next time. All right, let's go over the rest of my list because we only have an hour to go, right? It's only a 2-hour show, folks. It's only a 2-hour show. All right, so now I talked about exploding Filipino consumer oriented economy. Exploding is an understatement. You guys love Western stuff. Cut it out. No need. Cut it out. You don't need it.
Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, it's really, I can barely hear you on this end. I don't really know why. The problem is I couldn't interact with you, Larry, because I just can't hear you. That's what the problem is. I can't interact.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you doing?
It's just too.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
No. Now I can
Yeah,
barely
can you
hear
hear
you,
me?
but I can't see you.
Hello?
Yeah. It's just too low for me to be able to
Yeah,
interact.
give me a second.
Let's see. What was that? What else was I going to talk about? Oh, ladies, I have a feeling you know this already. Okay. I have a feeling that, you know this. Well, so Dodger Blue can hear you just fine, but I can't. And that's really what the main problem is. I can't hear. So I wouldn't know when I'm interrupting you, because I would have to be looking at your lips. And although you have nice lips, Larry, I'm not a good lip reader. Yeah, that's what the problem is. We can hear you, but I can't. That's what the problem is. I don't really know why. All right. So, all right, ladies, do not use the alum rock. I almost panicked when I saw my wife using the alum rock for deodorant. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I took a shower this morning and I started looking around for my deodorant and we couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, oh, no, I left my deodorant stick in Cebu. Well, I need to have a deodorant stick here too, right? So I thought about an incident that happened about 2 or 3 years ago where I saw my wife using the alum rock. Some of you know what that is. That's a white rock that you wet and then you use underneath your arms. And I panicked, you know. I was like, no, don't use that. And I started showing her that the studies that show that this can lead to breast cancer, right? I started showing her people's opinion pieces about using the alum rock. So that brought to mind me missing my deodorant stick, brought to mind the fact that I need to talk about this. In case you don't know it, do not use the alum rock. It's better, ladies, to take 3 showers or 4 showers or more per day than to go and use alum rock underneath your armpits. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Nipban says, sure, the latest Pixel. I've never been disappointed. The camera's great. Girls told me before they want their selfie taken from my phone. There can't be any more. Oh, well, yeah. Hey, now I know. So I need a Pixel phone, you're saying, not a Google phone, a Pixel phone. Okay. Sure, your phone flirts. Exactly what I was thinking. My phone is learning from me. Let's see. We call that Tawa, Sir Dan. Okay. So did you get my message now? Get my message on the alum rock. Don't use it underneath the armpits. Ladies, if you have to, don't wear deodorant at all. I like the natural smell anyway. Besides that, I have no plans of smelling your armpits. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. I'm sorry that I couldn't hear you. Would you? Okay, let's see. Now I think we'll pass on that one. Talked about the integration of Facebook. Seth gave us some hints. Let's see. Jaylyn is here. I just saw Jaylyn step in. Hello, Jaylyn. How are you? Oh, Melanie's doing a live. Yeah, I understand there are a few people doing a live this morning. So I'm cool. All right, the office building bust. All right, so this is something that's going on in the United States that I want to talk about. It's another fear factor video that's going on. Dan, my dad used alum rock as an aftershave for all his life, but he had no risk from breast cancer. Well, there may be a good reason behind that. There may be an excellent reason behind that, Nipban. But I am growing man boobs, and so this terrifies me. When you get older, gravity takes over. Yeah, no. Oh, Larry, what's up?
Not much, man. Just got back. I had to drop out. A friend of mine called.
Ah, okay.
She, the one whose house is I'm at.
Larry, do you have man boobs?
Oh yeah.
Well, don't use alum rock or deodorant that has aluminum in it underneath your armpits.
Why is that?
Because there's evidence starting to show up that it causes breast cancer. And if you have man boobs, you can get breast cancer.
Okay, well, I have man boobs.
All right.
I mean, you don't get as fat as I am without getting them.
Okay, while you were away, I brought up this subject. Maybe you've heard about this, but people, even the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg, everybody's talking about the everybody's talking about the office building bust and the real estate bust, right?
Yeah.
It's because everybody went home and they didn't want to come back to work, right? But this is by design, folks. Things don't happen in a vacuum. The destruction of the U.S. economy is they're trying to level the playing field. One way you do it is cause everybody to go bankrupt and then build everybody back up.
So you're saying that's what he means by build back better?
Yeah. So here's what I think is going on. Okay. So you probably saw the latest news on housing, right? In the United States, it's crash and burning,
Yeah.
But not for Nitban, because Nitban is one of the 28% of the population that have mortgages underneath 6%. That's 1/3 of all mortgages are under 6%. And even a smaller percentage of those are underneath 3%. They're not moving anytime soon. They're not going to give up their homes because they're servicing a reasonable mortgage.
Yeah.
So the people aren't going to go. They're not going to go and get mortgages that are in the 7 to 8% range. They just aren't. And so that's the housing market in a nutshell. Okay. The building.
I got a question. Can you hear me better now?
No, I still can't. I have
All
no
right,
idea
sorry.
why. Yeah, I still have no. It could be on my end because I slapped everything together really quickly, but my headphones are put away, so that would help a little bit.
Well,
So next time I'll have them on me. I apologize, but now.
Well, unless I have to be here again next week, I'll be at home. I'll be at home on your Saturday, Friday when I should be at home.
Yeah. Okay, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Nitban says that he's holding a 1.99% mortgage. You have cut. I apologize, but you have cut a fat hog. I apologize if anybody is offended by that comment. You have cut the fat hog. And Nitban,
down to the bone.
By the way, Nitban, where are you in the world right now? Where are you in the world? Nitban, are you in Indonesia? Are you in India? Are you in Thailand? Where in the heck are you? I wanted to say, why is this office bust thing important? Because you have a whole bunch of people. See, here's proof that things don't happen in a vacuum. Again, this is my opinion, only mine. You can believe it or not, right? But so years ago, they started selling people real estate investment trusts. And the way they sold it to us is they came to us and say, Dan, if you invest some money in this real estate investment trust, you're guaranteed a return on your investment, right? You're guaranteed a return. In other words, people, government agencies, this building over here in downtown Sacramento is leased out to a governmental agency that will never leave it. And guess what happened? The global calamity happened and they sent everybody home. And then the governmental agency decided they no longer need the building. And so they stopped paying the lease on it. They don't care if the leaseholder sues them. They don't care if they don't pay the rent on the building. They say, sue us, and we'll see how it, but they oftentimes don't. They negotiate settlements. They negotiate exit settlements on these buildings. So here I am. Here's Dan stuck with this real estate investment trust, owning a portion of it on this building, for which the return on investment comes to a screeching halt. Right? Not only that, but I'm at risk of losing the entire investment because there's no way to service that they could service this debt because they cannot, there's nobody renting the building. Now, here's how it's by design they caused this to happen. Am I worried? No, and I'll tell you why. Mildred's here. Thank you, Mildred. Thank you so much for showing up. And Larice has been resurrected. Larice has been resurrected. Oh, Dodger Blue is saying that alum is a component of aluminum. Continued contact with aluminum is known to cause cancer. Testing fire department ladders. Thank you. Thank you. So he has some professional background knowledge about that. Nidban is saying, I drove by a big office complex in Sacramento the other day, and the whole place is almost empty, almost because it showed there was a company there. Nidban says, let's see, he's in Bangkok. I'm in Bangkok. I slept for 10 hours. Now we'll go out and find the best burger I can get. I hear it's raining like crazy in Bangkok, that the rainy season is underway, Nitban. So make sure you have your umbrella with you. And I also heard that Soy 19 is under all kinds of renovation, that they took out all the bars I'm sorry, Soy 11. They took out all the bars to build skyscraper condominiums. And so I want you to go take a look at that and verify that for me. Soy 11, everything gone. They moved the food stalls out. A place where I had a beautiful fish dinner is gone. Everything gone. Yeah. Commercial mortgages are only good for 5 to 10 years, and then they must be refinanced. That's right. That they float. You're exactly right. They float. And so you're taking a risk if you're in a RIT, and the investment of that RIT is in commercial buildings and office buildings. Okay, now how do I know it's by design, right? Now, Dan's getting in his crystal ball. Should I be worried? No. Why? Because the plan is to convert all the office building over to condominiums, to small living quarters. For who? For who? Who's going to occupy them? People between the ages of 26 and 34, the echo boomers, who we have gravitated globally. This population, they're not into owning homes. They're nomadic. They are digital nomads. They move around. They're probably Sessa's age, right? Nitban says, we'll probably travel to Koh Chang tomorrow or the next day. Beautiful. Have a great time. Wish I were there. But take your umbrella. There's no rain. It's hot and humid. Okay, no rain for the moment. But the weather report's the same, right? Bright and sunny in the morning, cloudy with chances of rain in the afternoon. And the rain doesn't last for very long. Abby, thanks so much for being here. All right, so they're going to convert those all over to condominiums, and then they're going to rent those out. This is the perfect transition if you're in a downtown area, because here's the other thing, the other event going on. They're trying to push everybody. First of all, people in those age group, right? Millennials and the echo boomers, they're not having kids. They're not even getting married. They believe in having children out of wedlock. All right. So all over the world, this particular generation, you could look to the Philippines and you can get a sense of what's going on. Philippines is number one. You're right in that echo boomer range, right? This is the reason why they're targeting the Philippines for consumer goods. It's because you're going to buy them. But here's what your future living looks like. Condominiums in the center of the town for which you will rent and you will never own. And they will be 100 square foot places. They will be 20 square meters or 24 square meters max, 100 square feet. And it's for you to be able to afford to live in. And so that's what the new global economy is shifting towards. So they're already repurposing them in Sacramento over from office buildings down over to to apartments. Micro apartments, they're calling them, that millennials and echo boomers love to live in. All is right in the world. All is right in my investment trust because they're going to convert the apartment that I have a small, tiny piece of. Alfie's here. Hi, Alfie. They're going to convert them all into condominiums downtown. So all the people that have businesses downtown will survive. Restaurants, bars, massage parlors, those types of things, all service-oriented businesses will survive because people will be living downtown. They're going to lure them back in. And how they're going to lure them back in is by converting all those office buildings over to micro living spaces. All the infrastructure is already there. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a few years to do, but they're going to set it up so that when the 20-year-olds turn 24, 25, 26, they're going to be ready to go. That's what's happening right now in Sacramento, California. Some of these are being built from the ground up, and some of the office buildings are being converted. And so this is not going to take very long to have happen at all. And one more thing. It's better this way for the tax base, because the tax base, which is fire, medical, all the things that you need, there's not enough tax money to go around in order to service all the people that live in the suburbs. They want the echo boomers to move into the central city so that if they have an event that requires police and fire services, they're easier to dispatch you to those locations because you'll have thousands of people living in one high-rise building. So they're adopting models that have been already utilized in the cities of Bangkok. Bangkok already has this in place. You know, they already have micro apartment living there, and downtown and places like the Philippines. For example, where I live, where Mamini and I have an apartment in Lahug, they're small, 100 square feet, 24, 25 square meters is if you want a one bedroom apartment, it's going to be 40 or 50 square meters, not that much larger, 200 square feet. That's going to be our future. And it's happening globally. But in the Philippines, what's going to be different is you build your own homes, and you build them on, a lot of times you build them on leased land or borrowed land, and they're small homes made out of soft materials that if something were to happen, all you have to do is uproot and move to another location. And you'll never have to deal with this unless you want to live in the central city. You know, but a lot of people want to, because as the country of the Philippines modernizes, more people will be moving for jobs that will become available in the center parts of the city, like IT Park, Ayala, and the financial district in Manila, Makati, and other places will become more popular destinations. But already you can see they've already adopted this model. So, and another thing that we talked about that is connected to this is Ramir's here, Abby's here, and we got Moelma in the house. Thanks so much for coming. Alfie, Menge is hanging in there with us. So all these changes are positive changes, because quite frankly, we don't need such large living spaces, especially we don't need them in Southeast Asia, because they live their lives outdoors. And so we don't need that. We don't need this model, this Western model of people coming in here and building Western style homes. The only people coming in here and building Western style homes are Westerners. And the Filipinos, the rich ones, the middle class and the rich, they're building a modified version of that home, but it's less than 1/3 the size of the average Western home. And so they're coming in here and they're building 500 square foot homes But you do have Westerners, myself included, Man Mini and I, who build one that is 1,500 square feet, because that's what we're about 200 square meters. That's what we're looking for in a Western style home. In other words, so you're going to have Westerners coming in here and doing that. But a lot of them like to live, they like condominium living. I mean, you can't beat it. You really can't beat it. Downtown Sacramento has changed. BS Business is here. They knocked down the old and put retail on the ground and living on top, where you can no longer build out. That's right. That's right. And that's part of it. So you're validating what I'm saying. Sacramento, the reason is they want service, they want retail and service-oriented businesses occupying the first couple of floors. And that's the way it is in the apartment that Man Mini and I live in. We're on the 6th floor. If you go to the 1st and 2nd floor, your retail is on the 1st floor. The 2nd floor is your business. Your 3rd floor are your office building, doctor, dentist, and those things. 2nd floor is financial. 1st is retail. It's the same model that's being adopted all over the world. I mean, it's hard to say, but how do they do these things? Do they all go to some secret meeting and they say, okay, this is how we're going to devise the future, And if you do it this way, you get a bucket full of money. You get government assistance. If you don't, you get nothing except heartache. We'll send code enforcement over there to give you a hard time. Anna Fleur is here. Eddie's here. We'll give you a hard time unless you follow the program. Larry says, I only work 4 days a week. Thursday and Friday is from 7 a.m. to 3. Saturday and Sunday. I like the 4-day work week schedule. I've always liked it. So you get 40 hours every 2 weeks. I like the 4-3 schedule best, where you work 4 days 1 week and 3 days the next. So you're working 4 8-hour shifts followed by 3 12-hour shifts. So you'll see that all the major cities in the United States, they're following this plan that I've talked about. So, folks, if you're living here in the Philippines, which we all are, most of us are, be aware of what the plan is. Be aware of what the plan is. Wow, you're gonna think Dan has a crystal ball. No, it's observation is my crystal ball. Observation and statistics. So you have to look at stats, and you have to look at the local economies, and then you could put, if you travel a little bit, then you get a global view. You get a global view. You observe, you travel a little bit, you can see things developing, and then you realize that it isn't a secret, that it's a pattern. It's not a secret, it's a pattern. So I have a whole bunch of new people here in the chat, Larry. Can't hardly wait till I retire. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Going to be fun. It's a weird feeling initially, because you think to yourself, someone's actually going to pay me money to be retired, not to work. Precious Heart is here. Precious Heart. All right, who sent you over, guys? Who sent you over? Who's conducting the raid? Is that I know there were a couple of people that were going live this morning at the same time. Someone started at 9 o'clock. Who is that? Hi, Larry Lee from BS Business. Good morning, Sir Dan from Marion. Good morning.
Dad, I'll think I'm just on vacation when I retire at first.
Hey, look at this. Abby's asking a great question. Why is it only 40 hours a week, Larry? Hey, are you on vacation already at 40 hours a week? Why aren't you working 60, yo-yo?
Hey, it feels like vacation.
Would you work 60 if you had 60 available to work?
No. I'm tired of it.
See, we're quite different, because I would. See, that's the difference. I'd be looking at that money. I'd be like,
I
Show
did it.
me the money. Show
I
me the
did.
money.
I did it a couple of years ago for a full year. That burned me out.
Uh-huh.
I was tired of it.
No, you grab another 20 per hour a week job is what I'm thinking. You grab a part-time job.
I might be able to do that, but I'm gonna have to relax for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The 0 hours a week. But I'm working more hours than I did when I was working, Dodger Blue. I talked a little bit about it earlier about the YouTube thing. It's seeming like it's turning into a full-time gig. But I don't mind it because I could see the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I think that was just that I'm on vacation. Okay. Vacations give you a hint at what retirement will be like. You know, Princess Beatrice is here. Laurie, so it's Melanie. The shout out is coming from Mel. Mel, thank you, Mel. I'm back in bye-bye. Be down to Dunkin' Donuts if you come by and say hello today or this week. I'll be down there drinking my usual cup of coffee. Oh, stand by, you guys. Stand by. Yeah. I was yelling across the room to see if Mammy wanted to come in and say hello. Hey, I always do 60 hours a week, but never got paid more. That's because you're one of them IT management guys working 24 hours a day. That's what you IT people do, right, Nitban? Miss Leo's here. It's not work if you love what you were doing. They kept saying that to me. They kept saying that, but you see, that's one of those societal things, you know. That's one of those things. That's one of those things that we're going to have a live stream about next time. I wanted to give you guys a heads up of what's coming Saturday. Saturday, we're gonna talk about all those things that people try to convince you to believe in that should be your enemy. Okay, so hey, I'm giving you a warning in advance. Some of you may not want to show up because probably I'll be going into Facebook and I'll be pulling up these memes and different things, whatever they call them. You know, the thought of the day, and we're going to go through them and we're going to talk about them. And some of these are enemies of yours. Some of them, they're trying to convince you to be happy just simply being poor. And so if you want to be rich, if that's really if you want to make money, it's really in your heart and it's really in your mind and it's deep down into your soul. You can't be reading that stuff and adopting it.
Hello, I forgot your coffee.
Oh my goodness gracious, honey. Oh, here's Ma'am Minnie.
Hi, Ma'am Minnie. How you doing?
Here's the shirt that Minnie bought. She's wearing her shirt that she bought at the souvenir shop.
Cebu.
All right.
Yeah.
I hope I can buy for them too.
I was telling Larry I can barely hear him. So she's gonna fill that up for me. So
Isn't that nice of her?
Guys,
She's too good for you.
it's okay to be poor so long as you have, if you're rich in friends. That's BS. That's one of those things to keep you poor and to keep the rich rich. Do you guys not understand this? This is what we're going to be talking about on the next live stream. And so I want Larry to be a part of it next time. So I want to be able to hear you, Larry. I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but here's the thing.
Like I said, the next live stream, I should be home.
Oh, thank you so much for taking care of me, baby. That's
Sir Larry.
the benefits of being married to a Filipina.
How you doing?
Doing good. Thank you.
So on the next live, we're gonna be going over the stuff that people post, and I'm gonna demonstrate to you why this isn't a good idea. So I mean, listen, would you like to have a lot of wealthy friends as opposed to just having friends? In other words, okay, you don't have money, but you're rich in friends. How about rich friends? How about rich friends? Is there anything wrong with that?
No.
In other words, we're going to be talking about them, and that means I'm going to be going into Facebook, and I'm going to be looking at what you post. In fact, I'm going to probably be doing it during the week. I'm going to be taking screenshots, and then I'm going to be showing them to you. Here's what so and so posted. Here's what Larry posted. You know, I got to tell you something. Larry changed. I don't know if he did it consciously or subconsciously, but Larry started to change what he was posting. He started to post things that I was more in agreement with, and I don't know how that happened, but
You changed.
because Larry was my best target. He was, but I can no longer use Larry as an example because he changed what he was posting. That means that he actually was thinking about it before he posted it. Because I think a lot of you don't think about it before you post it. And I gave you a clue. I had said to you, be careful what you post because it's going to give somebody, they're going to be able to go right into your soul and see what you're thinking, and they may be able to take advantage of it. And so I think social media is dangerous from that perspective. You have to be willing to accept the fact that somebody's going to try and run a game on you based on what you post.
Well, I think they'll try to run the game on you anyway.
Well, but they wouldn't be successful doing it, because what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to combat it because you're going to know what they're after. For example, based on your posts, young ladies, I can tell whether you have had issues in your family relationships. Okay, I'm just pointing this out. I'm giving you one example in advance. I can detect it based on your postings, not just one, a series of posts. So, for example, I could bring up a post that somebody put up that will catch my attention. Then I could go back and I could look at the previous 4 or 5 posts, and I could figure out what you're all about based on those posts. So you're more transparent than you think by what you're putting up on social media. I just wanted to point this out to you. It's okay to post things on social media. I'm not telling you not to do it. But I am telling you to read what you're posting first. And if you just run this thought through your mind, what would Dan think? Then you won't post the garbage that some of you have been posting. All you have to do is ask yourself this question. What would Dan think about this post? So you could agree, disagree with what I have to say. I gave you the disclaimer at the very, very beginning. Let's see. Dodger Blue, yeah, so true, but sometimes it's draining. I missed the quote. I missed what Dodger Blue was saying. Very true, Crystals. Knitband, kick fire the boss. I believe Knitband has done that in the past, Crystals. They're saying hi. Naomi says hi. They're all saying hi. Listen. Man Mini is going to be the superstars in the shorts category. No, I don't mean down here. I mean in the short video category. Maybe down there too. Oh man! Listen, we're going to be exploiting Man Mini, not in the way that you think. No, Knitband. You have to know something about how IT works, though. Right? You have to know something. No, I'm not IT. I'm a hardware design engineer. Calling any guy an IT guy is considered racist in San Francisco. That was very funny, Knitband. That was hilarious. Yeah. Please, accept my apology, Knitband. He's a hardware design engineer, even harder to come by. So there you go. Okay, Dan has to behave. Minnie is home. That's right. Things that are talked about in the chat shall not be shared with Ma'am Minnie. Some things, that is. Yeah, let's not settle to be poor forever. Yeah, it's all mindset. And so if you guys keep posting memes, like if you guys keep posting the thought of the day, you know, say even acknowledging that you're poor, Crystals, would be a bad thing. You know, if you wanted to, you could say that you're rich, and then you don't have to define what rich means to you. So rich means money to me. See? So, but rich and friends might be your thing, but you don't want to publicly announce rich and friends. You would say that I'm rich. See? And then boom, that's the end of the statement. I'm wealthy. That's the end of the statement. See? Are you guys getting where I'm going with this? Is this helpful in adjusting your thought process? Look, Larry Lee, who has made it his life's adventure to view certain people's videos, every single one of them, will be able to testify that my road to prosperity and wealth happened on the first day, the first video that I ever posted. So now I'm not asking you guys to go back and view every video like Larry Lee did, but Larry Lee can tell you that from day one, my motivation was training. It was a proving ground to change my life forever. And it has changed forever. So it's okay. You can ignore whatever I have to say.
I will.
People that have been around me who know me know that I set this whole thing up from the very first YouTube video that I posted. All you have to do is go back and watch every single one, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then Larry will testify on a book of goodness that it is all true. Well, Knitband knows how to do most things, I would imagine. For a fee, by the way. For a fee.
Nothing free.
Yeah, why would he do it for free? I hate getting up in the morning. Dodger Blue. So this is a tie-in to what I'm talking about. Nobody has said ever, except in that meme, that the early bird catches the worm, which is another rich person manipulation, that you have to get up early in the morning. No one does. Folks, I never believed this in my entire life. So here's what used to happen. I used to teach a class in employment services, and mostly it was to people that were unemployed and homeless. They used to come to my class, and guess when they used to schedule the class? At a time when most people could not attend. And that's a sneaky master trying to get you not to attend the class, for which you would learn the secret to life from Dan's mouth. And the secret is you don't have to get up early in the morning in order to live a successful life.
Now remember, Dan, Jerry liked to get up early.
Corporate masters to get you to believe. I was more successful when I didn't have to get up until 10 o'clock in the morning. That is when I became the most successful. So there, take that. Your corporate masters wanted to get you up out of bed early and get your ass to the office. And now they can't even do that. and they don't know what the answer is. And I'm telling them the answer even now, and I'm giving them the answer for free. You get people to the office by not asking them to come back to the office, you yahoos. Don't you get it?
If they'd pay me to stay home, I'd stay home.
Yes, you're one of the strongest people that I know, Crystals. Yeah, I know, Larry. I did hear that comment. I agree with you. I actually wouldn't mind working in the evening. 7 a.m. is a tough start for me. That's what we're talking about, Dodger Blue. Listen, if you know, I used to teach this class, if you know your true personality is that you have a better shot of making it in this world the way it's been scripted for you, except you don't follow that script. What you do is you look for the job that starts at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Folks, I got to tell you something. The most successful people that I knew came from that class that I taught. And I said that, listen, if you know that you can't stand working for one master for 8 hours per day, then you fire them. Crystals is on the right track. You tell them you're fired. And you tell them, I'm willing to listen to your bullshit for 4 hours a day. And I'm willing to listen to you tell me what to do for 4 hours a day. After that, I can't stand you. And if the person you're working for can't figure out that Dan is the most productive worker that I got for the first 4 hours, and then he turns into a pile of crap, that's their problem. Because I'll tell you what, I would love to have me work for you for 4 hours per day only. And then you go out and you find yourself another 4 hour a day job if you need to work 8. But if you could make it on only 4 hours of pay per day, then you only work for 4 hours a day. That's what I'm saying. No one is forcing you to go out there. No one's forcing you out there to go and work 8 hours a day for some idiot. You see, you came to Dan's live stream and I just gave you $1 million idea. See, because the rest of the time you got to be spending the time figuring out where the rest of your money is going to be coming from. And you can't have your ideas thwarted by some idiot who's trying to convince you that you'll make it by working 9 to 5 when you know that you won't. You know, when in your soul is telling you that's a stupid idea. Crystals, all the computers you use anymore used in the last decade, I had some contributions to the processors that run the computer. Oh man, that's brilliant. And that's why they need you and they love you, Knitban. That's the reason why. There is something, Knitban. Now I have one to brag with my friends. That's right. And you should be bragging about Knitban because I brag about Knitban all the time. So, words from your lips to God's ear, Crystals. Exactly. Not for free. You need to pay if needed by blood. You need to pay. unless you're a relative, which I could probably prove that Knitban and I are related some kind of way. Larry.
Yes.
Since they can hear you and I can't, I want you to take over. I want you to run the rest of the live until we exit out of here. But before we do that, right? Somebody in here has won this 100 pesos, and I think I know who it is. If you haven't won it last week, because I'm not paying attention, but if you haven't won it in the last week, I think this 100 peso bill goes to Marion. Now, Marion, you will have a chance. I think we're going to figure out this $100 bill. So you see, there's a difference. They look the same almost. You got this 100 peso bill, which you won, but there will be an opportunity for you to win this. I just haven't worked out the mechanics. So congratulations for being here. Melanie, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Melanie, for sending some folks my way. I truly appreciate it. Let's see. Go ahead, Larry. Take over.
All right. All right, people. We're just going to talk for a little bit. Whatever questions you have, I'll answer. Like Dan says, you have to decide what makes you rich. In Dan's opinion, it's money. I like money myself. But how much makes you rich, that's going to depend on your comfort level. I'm not at mine yet. That's why I'm still working. I want all my bills paid off. I want to save up some money so when the time is appropriate, I can move to the Philippines and have the money to set myself up. But it's going to be 3 to 5 years, hopefully no more than 5. And then it'll also depend on my health. I mean, I'm 70 years old this year. I'll be turned 70. I'm in pretty good health. So if I'm still in good health when time for me to move, I'll move. Hopefully I'll meet some of you people when I do move over. But until then, I'll keep doing my live stream, putting up a few videos down there. I can't say I'm as prolific at putting up videos and shorts as Dan and some of you others. Some of you are very good at it. I'm not a very good editor. I don't really edit anything. I edited a short once, and I rotated a couple of videos so they would work better. And that's all the editing I've ever done. So I need to learn how to do that, maybe do some more shorts, and try to get some things taken care of. And I'm always very appreciative of Dan and Mimi for having me into their live streams. And I also enjoy going to and visit some of you others, your live streams, although I'm usually in the chat. Many times I'm just in the background, but I usually try to say hi. We got Crystal leaving, so bye, Crystal. You take care. You be safe. You and Mark and your kids. Try to have fun, as always.
Wait.
We got Zinni telling congrats to Melanie. Hey, Big Mac Daddy, how you doing, man?
How you doing?
Not too bad. We're about ready to end this live stream here in just a few minutes.
Hey, I'm kind of late. I've been waiting for it to come on. I was sleeping for a little bit. How you doing, Dan? Is that you, Larry?
Hey, how's it going? So now I know that it's on my end. Now that Mac Daddy's here, I know that the problem with the sound is on my end. So I will work on resolving that before Saturday's live stream.
It could just be the way you got it hooked up. You'll get that figured out. Yeah, Mac Daddy, it's me. I'm staying at a friend's house tonight. Her daughter, and them are down in New York City. She's got some photos she needs to take. She's a aspiring model. She's done a commercial.
Nice.
I guess she's supposed to be finding out if she's got another job in the modeling industry tomorrow. I don't know how long that'll be, but I'm sitting here with her, spending the night here with her mom, my friend's brother. So I come over here and sit with her mom because otherwise she's a little more nervous. She's in her 80s.
Sounds like you got a touch of a cold.
Just a little bit. It was a lot worse Monday. I had a real bad sore throat.
Norovirus is everywhere right now.
Well,
the GI bug.
I spent most of the day in bed last night. Today, I was probably in bed close to 10, 12 hours.
Dan, I was looking at microloans for farming.
Yeah.
The Philippines Department of Agriculture offers a lot of that.
A trip to go back and see how we all thought about it.
All over the place. They got offices, which I found interesting. But I
If
didn't
you're
find
sick,
out.
you don't need money.
Well, I didn't say
Roger?
that. They all need money, but you could just be another source. I wanted to mention it's hard to do charity in the Philippines. You got to be careful with that, though.
Oh, I know. That's what I found out. And so I'll be, words have meaning here in the Philippines.
You got to be business. I'm sure you could do something as a business. I think one of the big things that we could do for the Filipino people is help them all get bank accounts. It would change their lives. Do like a school, get the banks to do. Again, you wouldn't have to do it yourself, but like a school savings program for the kids. Like when I was a little kid, we could take money to school with us, put it in an envelope, the teacher would collect it, and they would deposit it in our very own bank account.
Hey, I got
So-
to answer. Nipman just made a statement. Is Larry quitting? Sounds like that. No, Nipman. I'm going to work till all my bills are paid off. And some money saved. That's minimum 3 years.
Is that Nipman? I haven't talked to him in ages. Hi, Nipman.
But anyway, like I said, no, I'm not quitting. I wish I could afford to quit. I'd gladly retire right now. Like I said, I'll be 70 this year. I've been working since, well, if you want to talk real jobs, since I was 15. I had my first real job. I started working on a regular basis at 16. So, I've been working for quite some time. And the first 2 jobs were in, hello, girlie, how you doing? I was in a restaurant. I worked at a A&W root beer at a steakhouse.
Nice.
So
I stand here where democracy is fighting for its right.
But there are no.
I've been working my whole life too. I know the feeling.
Democracy is under assault.
Yeah,
I'm
like I said,
kinda-
it comes to a time where you just want to call it quits,
Absolutely.
Well, unless you're a workaholic. There are people out there that are workaholic. I'm just not one of them.
Democracy is under attack.
There's people out there that they're not going to be happy unless they're working. And, that's fine for them. I used to work all I could. I'd work a lot of. There was times I had 2 and 3 jobs for a couple months at a time or more. Excuse me. And so anyway, I tried to get away from that. Did Dan drop out?
I think he did.
Oh,
It's his live stream. I think he'll be back. Maybe he's playing with his wife.
It's right around the time. He usually quits around 2 hours. We're a little over 2 hours now.
God bless him.
And he usually goes to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or somewhere for Moe's, something. There he is. He's back. Hey, Dad, we thought maybe you left us.
Yeah, I was trying to mess around with the sound to see what I could do, and I ended up disconnecting everything.
That's okay. It happens to the best.
Even my camera. You see how the camera changed?
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll be chatting with you, Edward. And by the way, Nip Dan is as witty as ever.
All right. Well, I guess
Take us out of this live, Larry.
All right, everybody. Remember, be nice to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, as always, try to have fun. Bye.
And someone send a message over to Marion that she won the 100 pesos for this live stream, and I'll be sending that off to her. I've got to check to see if I have her GCash number, but she could always PM me with it, or one of you that has it can always PM it to me. And we'll see everybody on the next live. Take care.
Yep, take care,
God
everybody.
bless you, Dan.
Bye.
Larry, I'm going to jump off too. I'll catch you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
To seize power.